Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to another episode of the Chocolate Shake. All right, inshallah, today I'd like to deal with maybe a part two of patience, or at least I want to continue the theme of patience because I see that's one of the things that the young folks out here are sorely needing, right? They very much need to be patient in their lives. And again, it's up to the OGs like myself to pull the coattail of the young ones and let them know that these are the things that you need to pay attention to in life to be successful. So without any further ado, I'm going to go today into a quote from Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu, for those who don't know, was considered a Chinese philosopher who lived about 600 years before the birth of Jesus the Christ, right? On him be peace. So that gives you a time frame, a Western time frame about when this man had lived. And he could quite possibly be, in the Islamic context, one of the prophets of the Chinese people. But let's read what it is that he had to say about not only patience, but also about simplicity and having compassion for oneself. He said, and I quote, "I have just three things to teach: simplicity, patience, and compassion. These three things are your greatest treasures. Simple in action and in thoughts, you return to the source of being. Patient with both friends and enemies, you accord with the way things are. Compassionate towards yourself, you reconcile all beings in this world." End quote. I'll say that one more time. And I quote, "I have just three things to teach: simplicity, patience, and compassion. These three things are your greatest treasures. Simple in actions and in thoughts, you return to the source of being. Patient with both friends and enemies, you accord with the way things are. Compassionate towards yourself, you reconcile with all beings in this world." End quote. Okay, let's break it down with the great master saying. Simplicity in thought is a sign of mental clarity, just as complicated thought is a sign of confusion. So one of the things I'd like to depart to the young folks is simplicity is not something that you want to look down on, right? I know that in our world today, you're considered unsophisticated, as I said in a previous video, when you're simple and you keep things simple. You know, one of the things that I learned as a young man, and I held on to it, I think I learned this right about my late teens, maybe my early 20s, is that the devil always want to bind you up in detail, right? Always want to bind you up in the complication. So we have to be very careful about people and their complications and how they come at us with it. Or any philosophies that we come across that tell us that complication is somehow, akin to sophistication. And we have to call BS on that. Be careful about people trying to bring complication into your life and mask it as sophistication. The deal is to be as simple in your thinking, as simple in your lifestyle, as simple in your thinking as you can in the way that you look at the world. Because when you break everything back down to common denominators, they get simple. And I remember having this conversation in my 20s with a good friend of mine. And I remember the back and forth and him trying to convince me that somehow simplicity is akin to, backwardness, or simplicity is akin to not being sophisticated. So we want to push back against that. And I want to let you know that's nothing but one of the tricks of the devils. A simple mind and simple thinking is akin to clarity. It's akin to keeping things straight. It's akin to being focused. I have a saying from Albert Einstein. He said, whatever it is that you understand, if you can't explain it to a fourth grader or a 4-year-old, he said one of those, a fourth grader or 4-year-old, if you can't do that, then he said, you yourself are not sure about what it is you're talking about. You don't understand it yourself, okay? So what we have to do is make sure that we keep things simple. And there's beauty in simplicity, right? Everything that we do, even things that we have, our marketing pieces, etc. There's a beauty in simplicity. And there's also a sophistication in simplicity for those who know. The next thing Lao speaks about is patience means to wait, but to do so in emotional balance and contentment. So we have to know how to be patient. Going back to sabr, right? The Islamic idea of sabr, how it is that you subdue your passions at that moment so that you don't make a colossal error because you don't rush through something, right? The ability to subdue your ego. So whatever you get ready to do next, you don't harm yourself. It gives us an opportunity to wait a moment. But when we're waiting, we have to train ourselves to wait and think about it as gratitude. So I'm subduing my ego, but not so as to harm myself or to lose something, like nothing's getting away from me. No, I'm subduing my ego because there's something greater on the other side of that patience, right? Again, patience comes to those who wait. That's what it means, is that if you could bring yourself down just for a minute and be grateful as you do it. Don't be angry because you're being patient, right? Don't be angry because you're practicing patience, and then you still have in the back of my mind, oh, I'm missing something. By doing this, the world is passing me by. Oh, my siblings, my coworkers, my peers, they're getting something that I'm not getting because I'm trying to be patient. That's not the attitude. We have to hold ourselves back and be patient, but do so with the understanding in mind and in your soul that by doing this now, I'm being grateful. This is a form of gratitude to my Lord. It's a form of gratitude to the universe. It's a form of gratitude to myself. So to practice patience is also a sign of a person who is grateful for what it is Allah has given them, for what it is that the family has given them, for what it is his culture, his tribe has given them, the world itself, the universe, what it is the universe has given us, right? So when we show patience, we're also showing contentment and gratitude that comes along with that. All right. So that's why Lao said that, this is one of his greatest teachings. Patience. Lastly, compassion. Compassion towards oneself enables us to have the elbow room needed for self-care. Then, when we have the ability to give ourselves self-care, or we ourselves are in good shape, now we can help others. Now, the same compassion that we feel for ourselves, you start to feel for others, right? Because you're healthy enough. And when you care about yourself and you can weep for yourself, you could think for yourself, you could wipe a tear away for yourself, again, because you're giving yourself the elbow room to be compassionate. Then what that does is that will then fill you up with the strength to be compassionate toward others. Because when you're compassionate towards yourself and you know what you should have for yourself, what healing, what attributes one needs to make themselves feel whole and feel healthy, then you're able now, or we're able now, to move into action. Take that, what we did for ourselves, and say, it worked for me. That was good for me. Thank Allah for it. Now you have the ability to express it to others because you know what it feels like. You know what it is because compassion was first given to self from self. And now you give compassion from self to others. And when we say compassion, of course, again, the root word in Islam for compassion in the Quran is rahmah, right? So we open up a chapter in the Quran. Every chapter in the Quran opens this way except one, and that's the chapter of war, right? But all the other chapters outside of the chapter for war opens up the same way. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. With the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, right? And the compassionate, rahmah in Arabic, right? It means the womb of a mother. It means the womb of the mother where the baby's carried. So we know when a baby's inside their womb that it has everything it needs to survive, right? It has the food, it has the warmth, it has the movement, the momentum. Everything comes from the mother, and that baby's well taken care of in the womb. There's nothing that baby needs that's not already provided for in the womb. And this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deals with the human being, right? That he gives us that type of compassion, rahmah, in the Arabic word, right? The root word, rahmah, which means, hey, I'm going to give you everything you need to be all right. So again, Lao is saying compassion towards oneself is one of his greatest teachings. So that's it, brothers and sisters. I hope that something I said here today was beneficial for your life. It certainly has been for me. And as I said, on this channel, we're going to always try to go back to the great divines, and we're going to extract and pull from all the sweet nectar that they left for us in this life to make us better human beings. If you like what you heard, please do me a favor and like this episode. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to my channel so we can get this thing to grow. I love you. I pray you have a good day. Y'all take care of yourselves. Peace.